Hi, I'm Miss Weird English, and I'm bored of being boring. If you don't know what that means, keep listening. I'll explain it in a moment. I started this podcast because, honestly, I have no hobbies. Sure, I used to have hobbies. When I was younger, I traveled, played sports, ate insects, got into video games, and tried all sorts of things. But somehow, after the pandemic, I became boring and maybe even a little lazy. People ask what I do for fun, and I say sleep. But you know what? I'm done with that. I'm officially bored of being boring, which means I don't want to be a boring person anymore. So I've decided to get weird. However, I'm not quite ready to jump on a plane or eat from a bug buffet again. So I'm going to start with this weird podcast. That way, I can at least tell my friends I have a podcast and trick them into thinking that I'm interesting again. Plus, I can make my students listen to it for homework as a bonus. In today's podcast, I'll explain the difference between the words bored and boring. Honestly, a lot of English learners struggle with this. Now, I'm not going to go crazy explaining the grammar rules because this is a hobby podcast and I don't feel like it. But I will tell you a story, and by the end of the story, you'll know the difference between the words bored and boring. So, here's the story. One time, a guy named Max totally messed up with his girlfriend Sarah because of one word. He was sitting on the couch reading a One Punch Man comic when Lila walked in. She sat in the armchair and let out this long, dramatic sigh. Then she says, "I'm bored." Max looks up from his comic and frowns. Immediately, he tries to comfort Lila by saying, "Well, it's not your fault you're so boring, Sarah. Some people just are." Sarah looks at him with confusion and says, "What are you talking about?" Max still hasn't caught on at this point, so he says, "Well, you just said you're boring, so I didn't want you to feel bad about it." At that moment, Lila's whole face turns red. She stands up and says, "No, I said I'm bored, not boring. I meant I have nothing to do." Max instantly starts to panic inside and asks, "Wait, what's the difference between bored and boring?" Sarah rolls her eyes and then says, "Okay, listen. Bored means you feel like you have nothing to do. Boring means you make other people feel bored." After she explains, Max's eyes light up and he goes, "Oh, I get it now. You're bored, not boring." At this point, Sarah is laughing and says, "Yeah, exactly." She gets up to leave the room and whispers under her breath, "You need to take English classes before I leave you, Max." So, that's the story. Now, can you tell the difference between the word bored and the word boring? Let's play a little game to check. Here's how it works. I'm going to read a sentence, and you decide if it should end with bored or boring. Ready? Here's the sentence. I was going to paint my bedroom white, but my best friend thinks I should paint it blue. She says having a white bedroom is... So, what do you think? Should we say bored or boring? If you think you know the answer, send me a message on Instagram to prove it. Or, if you're one of my students, you can tell me the answer in class. Well, that's all I've got for you today, so thanks for listening. I think I'm just going to go and be boring for a while. I'll catch you in the next episode.